Hello everyone, welcome to my video and welcome to my channel. In this video I am actually going to show you some Helm commands. In my last two videos I covered some Helm basics, so if you are new to this topic I would recommend you to go back and watch those videos first and then come back here. In this video basically I'm going to take an application, a Spring Boot application, and I'm going to deploy it in my own Kubernetes cluster using Helm. Okay, so if you look at what I got, I have a directory called Spring API, and then I have a directory called templates. Okay, in my templates directory I have a couple of YAML files, and if you see what's in my deployment YAML, it's basically deploying a Kubernetes deployment object, and the other one is actually the service object. Okay, so the deployment object, a deployment resource, is basically deploying my application. It has a certain tag number. We'll come back to that as in why that's important. And then the service is basically it's meant for this particular application, which is the above deployment. Okay, so we have these two YAML files. Let's deploy this application using Helm, because you might be familiar with using kubectl commands or kubectl apply commands and using them to deploy your application, right? You might have seen that already, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use Helm commands to deploy this simple application. Now let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to first install this application, because this is the first time we are deploying the application, right? So the name of the release is springapi-release, and then this is my application. Now it basically installed my application, right? So where did it get like all this information, right? So when it comes to Helm, like in my last video I talked about like having or creating a chart file first for your application, or chart.yaml file. So this is my chart directory, and inside that you have the chart.yaml, and this is the name of the chart itself, and you have the v2, which is basically it means that like we're using Helm 3, v1 is Helm 2, and then this is the description of the chart, version of the chart, and then version of the application, and what type of chart YAML is this. That's actually application type, right? So okay, so when we did the Helm install release name and then the chart or the directory name, then it says it's deployed the application. So if you look at my cluster now, so there is a particular deployment that happened 87 seconds ago, and we can look at the pods, and there is one pod running. And if you look at my service, there is a Spring API service of type load balancer. Now let's try to access this application using my browser. Okay, so let's go to my browser, and this is basically my application code. I inserted some dummy data here, right? And I'm gonna go here and put the service load balancer URL, and then I know the path of my application or the API that I created, which is user, and then I'm going to retrieve this particular data, right? So ID equal to 1, it basically brings up this particular JSON data, and which is the same as this. Okay, and you can just, like, for fun, we can just query or try to retrieve another record. Okay, so it is basically bringing all this data up here. So my application is successfully deployed actually. Right now, let's go ahead and do some more fun things with the Helm. Okay, so I just use this Helm install command, and let's use the Helm list command to list all the releases of my application. Okay, so this is the name of the release, and this is the namespace where the application got deployed, the time of deployment, status, and then the chart name, and then the app version, etc. So basically it shows all these things. Now you can get the same information using this command actually, right? So if you do a Helm get manifest, basically we're getting all the manifest of this particular release, and it shows the service.yaml and deployment.yaml that I showed you before. Okay, now let's keep going. Now I'm going to, basically let's imagine that I modified my application, and I have a new image for my application, right? You modify the application, and when you containerize it, you basically create another image, a Docker image for your application. Okay, I'm gonna go and modify my deployment YAML file and update the tag, right? Let's say I have a new image which is 8, that the tag number is 8 for that image, the same repo. Now all I need to do is, so once I update my deployment.yaml, I can just use this command, which is Helm upgrade command. So last time we used Helm install command, now we use Helm upgrade command. Name of the release, everything else is the same. Okay, now we do need to do one thing. Okay, so before we do this, we need to update something in the chart.yaml, because the app version has changed, right? The chart version is still the same. We still have the same YAML files in the templates directory, but the app version has changed. So I'm going to run this command now, Helm upgrade command, and it successfully updates the application. It says your release has been upgraded. Okay, now if I do a Helm list, of course it shows that basically it's revision number 2 for this application, and it was updated around at this time actually. Okay, just a few seconds ago. Now so basically the application has been upgraded using Helm. Okay, so now for some reason I want to roll back to the previous release. Okay, let's say the previous revision, right? So this is revision number 1, and I showed you, this is revision number 2, and there is revision number 1. So I'm going to go back to revision number 1. Again, the rollback was easy like that actually. So you see, the rollback was a success. So what you could do is, again, if you do a list, it shows revision 3, but you can see the app version, it went back to 1.0, right? So now we can see the history of the application like this. Okay, first it was an installation, then it was an upgrade, then it was a rollback to 1. Okay, that's basically the history. And finally, if you want to just destroy your application, you can just do this. Okay, now basically everything will be gone. So there is the the service is still remaining, which will be gone eventually. It's going to take some time to delete a load balancer service. Okay. All right, so that's how simple it is. Now this is not like a fancy Helm tutorial. Like, you have only like a very simple application, and that too, like, I'm not customizing my template files and so on. We will see all that in my future Helm tutorial videos, so please subscribe to my channel, and if you have any questions, just like comment and let me know. Like, I'll try to answer them. Like, I at least like read your questions. If if I can answer them, I will answer them. Okay. All right, I'm going to let you go. I'll see you guys with another helpful DevOps video, and thanks for your time.